Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Mixed Mo's. In today's episode we're going to be working on a Stihl FS55 strimmer that I sold to somebody about 4 years ago, and it's coming for its first service, which is 4 years ago. I have got my Josh here today. Say hi, Josh.
Hello.
Josh has been stuck up in his room giving it all a bat, and he's got nothing to do, and I said, well, come down here and give me a hand today. So this is the first time you've seen Joshy boy. He's got absolutely no experience with small engine stuff at all, have you?
None at all.
You're going to learn today, boy. So we're going to be doing a Stihl FS55. Now, I'm a bit miffed because I bought the kit off of Amazonian, and it came with a set of fuel leads, fuel pipes, an air filter, carb gaskets if needed, primer bulb. Should have come with fuel filter and a new spark plug. That ain't in the packet. So I need to get hold of them and say, where's my spark plug and filter? But I do have some spare filters and plugs here anyway, so hopefully we better get through it. The woman did say that it did run, or does run, but had problems starting it. So we'll have to have a look first if we can get it to run first, because obviously otherwise it becomes a service repair rather than just a standard service. But we'll see. Maybe a service will get it running. If this is the first time you're watching Mixed Mo's, hit the subscribe button, whack your bell, set your notifications to all. That way you'll be told when I've done a video, or two of them on my Saturday Night Wiki live stream, which starts at 6:30 PM UK time. It does. Do you watch it?
Yeah.
You don't lie. You're such a liar. He doesn't watch it at all. Anyway, Josh is he's wearing his safety sliders today. He's come down to the shop. So I've had to dawn mine on as well. So all you safety sallies out there, these are the Stihl toe cap safety sliders ones that they issue. These are not just the standard holiday ones. So without further ado, let's get down and dirty and let's service this FS55 Stihl strimmer. Right, so we've got the FS55 strimmer on the old bench, and my Joshy boy is actually going to service this today. I'm going to help him out where I can, and hopefully we can get through it together and get this machine serviced. So the first thing I want to do, Josh, is remove the air box. That's the air box, the air filter box. Little tiny clip on the side here, Josh. Give that a squeeze with your thumb. No, in there, babe. Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Right, just squeeze it.
Yeah, squeeze it in and just drift it out. Yeah. There you go, lovely, lovely. So that just come off now. Just manipulate that off gently, because it is plastic. Just fit, if you can't see how it comes off, figure it out. Yeah, there you go, lovely job. So that can go over there out of the way. That's the air filter. Now you want a little tiny screwdriver, that'll do you, and just down the side of that hole, just prise it in the side. Yeah, down the side, not in it. No, not in it. Down the side of it.
Oh.
In here, babe. In there, that's it, and just gently pry out. Go on, and out comes the air filter. There's the air filter, that yucky. So the air filter is absolutely full of grass and bits and pieces and what have you. That's actually no good at all whatsoever. So it's actually, what's that smell of?
I don't know.
Petrol.
Yeah.
So it's been tipped on its side. So that can go for a burn. We don't need that. And as you can see inside the carby, the airbox housing, it's all wet, all oil and what have you. So this machine's been tipped up. Abused. It's been pulled loads of times because we've got fuel coming out. So now we've exposed the carburettor. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get a bit of tissue paper, Josh. My little Josh Bosch. I didn't think you'd ever grow, Josh. And I'm going to put this bit of tissue paper down in here, because this is what we call the throat of a carby. Okay, that goes in there like so. And then I'm going to get a little tiny squirt of WD-40. I'm just literally going to spray that over the entire area. And why are we doing that?
Is it?
Okay, we're doing that just to loosen up any material that's on top of this carby. Next thing I want to do is I want to get an air gun. Now there's an air compressor behind you, Josh, and a hose here. We're going to pull the hose out, and we're going to air compress this off. That should be enough hose. So hook up your airline. It goes as you do it. It goes in there. Pull that bit back. It's a bit like pulling your thing. That's it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Push it in.
Oh.
That's it. Well done. Here we go. Well, that's the air gun. So now what you do? Yeah. I always find if you pull back too early, it shoots off the end. Okay. Right. Got it. Okay. So now that's hooked up. That won't come off now. Okay. So now you just
It's not gonna pop off.
No, it will if you pull it back, but don't pull it back.
Right.
So now onto there. Mind your eyes, not too close. And do you want some glasses? You're right. You all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on. Right. Okay. Yeah. That's fine. Okay. It will do. In there, mind your eyes though. Oh yeah. Lovely. You've done that before, haven't you? And all we're doing is just removing any debris. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. With that done, as you can see here, can you see there? What's that there?
What, the crack?
Yeah, a little tiny hole there. See, so if I get my screwdriver, I can just literally open your crack up, and that goes straight in there like that. See, so it's already got a broken primer. Okay, which a woman knew about already. So we're going to get a little tiny Phillips, a tiddly one, nothing too hefty. That might do it. Yeah, that'll do it. Right, so you'll use this screwdriver, and there's 4 screws to remove. Now make sure you put plenty of downwards pressure onto the screw head, because you don't want to round them off. Undo them 4, and we'll come back in 2 ticks. Okay, with those undone now, Josh, we get this little tiny magnetised doodad, and we can now just pick them screws out. Isn't that clever, isn't it?
Yeah, that's...
You want one, don't you?
Yeah.
You can't have it, it's mine. That goes into there. So now I'm going to get a little tiny flat-headed driver, and all we're going to do is we're going to go underneath this throat of this carb here, the top of carb here, and just gently prise that up. Okay, and that's going to be removed. Okay,
No.
That's simple. We're going to get a bit more WD-40 on top, a bit of a clean. That's all we're going to do there, because it is only in for a service. Okay, we're not worried about taking the carburetor apart at this time. Okay,
Yeah.
so that all comes off. It just gets rid of any other muck that's in there. Right. So with this one, as you can see, that's got a dirty grate split in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that just pushes out. Okay. We can then find a primer bulb, which is roughly the same size in height, and more importantly, the same size in diameter.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the one, isn't it? So that then goes into there like so, pushes down, and then that goes back on top like so. Now guess what you're going to do now?
Screw it back in.
There you go. So we get these screwed back in, or well, Josh will, and we'll go from there. So there's your screw, Josh. Number 1, just push them in to begin with. Just line them up, push them in to begin with. Just gently, gently, gently. Oh. If you need to borrow my little tiny thingy bob at any point, just let me know.
I think
Yeah.
I might need to.
Yeah. Right, so after about an hour, Josh has managed to do that. So now we put a new primer bulb on, Josh. What do you think we should now do?
Put the cover back on?
No, because this old primer was broken. Now this is called a primer because it primes fuel. It brings the fuel through to the carburetor. So we haven't yet tested that, have we?
Oh,
So let's give that 4 or 5 pumps, and what you're hoping to see is this bowl fill up with fuel. So give that a few squeezes.
with this?
Yep, downwards pressure, mate. Yeah, it'd be quite tough. Yeah. Keep going till you see petrol come through.
Yeah.
We're getting petrol through now.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, getting a bit on me. There you go. Lovely. So we now actually have what's called a priming carburetor. But I do hear some noise. It sounds like we don't have a lot of fuel in this tank. Is there much fuel in there?
There's a little bit.
Let's have a little look. Oh, it's darn near empty. Okay. So that's why. But anyway, we do have a priming carburetor. Okay. Unfortunately for us now, we've now got to remove this carburetor because we've now got to fit new fuel lines. Okay. So what we're going to need there, we're going to need an 8mm socket. So we're going to run these off. Don't lose no bits. There's one. Put it in the magnet tray. That way we don't lose it. Same with that one. And we'll run them both off. Okay. Now what I do with most of my my little jobs like this is I actually put a bit of cotton in the bottom of the socket, and it stops this. Okay. So what I'll do now is I'll get a little bit of blue roll. I'll call it up and I'll just jam it in the bottom of that socket, just until you want it just over flush to about there. Okay, and then when you go to put it back in, your nut was sitting there relatively well. It won't go too far down in the socket when you go to put it back on. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Good lad. Right. So next we're going to remove the air box. So take this one off here, very, very gently. Remove this plastic box. It'll come towards you. Lovely job. That one's a bit of a clean. So now we've got these little tiny fuel hoses just here. Okay. Now as you can see, one is got tethers on it, and one is smooth. Yeah. Okay, and we've got exactly the same here. Yeah. So what you need to do, or what I do when I first started, take some photographs. I'll take a photograph of how that is now. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
But we know that the tethered one goes on the bottom,
yeah,
and the smooth one goes on the top.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what we need to remember. Tethered on the bottom. Okay. So what we need to do now is I always recommend loosening off the cap. Okay. And then getting a pair of red-handled, long-nosed pliers. Bruce, here's mine. And then just slowly remove this fuel line. I might get a bit of a twist first, and then just slowly bring it down. And the same with this one here. Give it a bit of a twist, and slowly bring it down. Okay, now this carburettor will have a little tiny throttle. If I activate the throttle, you see that move?
Yeah.
We need to remove that throttle linkage. Okay, so what we can do is we can bring the carburettor out so far, and then there's a little tiny linkage here, and if you push that up and push this cable down at the same time, it disconnects. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you can then remove your carburettor. So quick question, where did the tethered pipe go, top or bottom?
Bottom.
Well done. So now we can remove this carburettor, that comes out, and put it over there. So now we have the fuel lines. Now pay attention, because the fuel line actually has got a bit of a kink to it, where it actually snugs in like this. Okay?
Yeah.
It doesn't just go straight up, it snugs in. Okay? Next thing we want to do is get a rather large screwdriver. Now the reason I use rather large is because it's not sharp.
Yeah.
Okay, now I don't want to damage the tank. So you're going to go into here, underneath, and push that grommet out of the tank. You're going to go, what you're trying to do, there's a hole in there, obviously. See here, look.
Yeah,
there's a hole. You want to try and get in down through here. All right. Gently, gently, gently. You might get a bit of a twist. You use the handle of a screwdriver, not the stem. That's it. Use a handle. That's it. And just a bit of a twist action, not too much. Gently, gently, gently. Treat it like a lady. Because when it comes to putting a new one in, if you break the new one, we're stuffed. How you doing?
Doesn't want to let me in there.
It doesn't want to let you in there. You'll find most ladies like that. That's it. Right, yeah. What you want to do? Look, a bit more hip action. Push it in, twist it, and there it goes there. So yeah, you try and get underneath it. Yeah?
Yeah.
Right. So this is a really important bit. When we take this out, you'll find down in the depths, you'll find there's a little tiny fuel filter. Now, what are these called? Do you know what these are called? Forceps.
That's the one.
Or hemostats. So we now remove the filter out, and the filter goes on the long leg. Okay, now they didn't supply me with a new one of these, but I've got some new ones. So let Josh now fit the new fuel line as per spec, and we'll be back in 2 ticks. Right, Josh, so I've now got you a brand new fuel filter. That's come out of my bag. There's your fuel filter. There's your new fuel line. And put that onto your hose. Well, if you're not sure, what are you going to do?
I'm going to put it on this.
Are you just going to do that, or are you going to check something else first?
Well, that hole's smaller.
Could be.
This hole's
But
bigger.
just look at the old one. The old one tells you, doesn't it? They don't take it off.
Okay.
So compare the two.
Okay, that's the bigger one. So it's going to be the smaller one. Right.
Compare it. You tell me. Put it up the right way so it's the same. You've got 2 legs here and 1 leg here.
One there. So it's going to be this one.
Well done. That's it.
right.
Yeah, that's it. You were right. I'm just checking. I'm not saying you were wrong. I'm just checking to make sure that if you not sure, look at what you've already got.
Yeah.
Because that'll tell you. Now the reason we're changing this is because this fuel line is particularly saggy. Okay, you can feel it. The difference in texture. You can feel
Yeah, it's
Yeah?
very
brittle, like, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that's why we're changing that. However, I would not disregard that. I would probably keep that as a backup spare somewhere, okay? Because they're about £8 or £9 for a set. So now we're happy with that. Let's just make sure that fuel filter's on there correctly. It is. It's on there, lovely, Josh. Now you want to do, get a bit of blue rag, and without putting any muck in that fuel tank, have a clean. Lovely job. And that's got a little tiny weight on there, which keeps it weighed down, you see?
Yeah.
Yeah. So with that on there, we can now slide that into the tank. Now remember what I said about these pipes. We're going to need this one to come down through. So I would have this around about that orientation there,
Right.
okay? Because it's got to come down around like so.
Yeah.
So now this is the tricky bit. You've now got to try and get that grommet back in. So what I recommend doing is pushing the back side of that lip onto the tank first. Push that in and get it well seated, and then with your thumb, gently pry it all in. Now if you can't get it all in, use your screwdriver, but go very, very gently with it, okay? Because you don't want to break this. If you break it, you'll be waiting for a brand new pipe, which means your customer's going to be waiting another week.
Yeah.
So very, very gently, just pry that in, and you'll know when it goes in, like so. All right. That's it. That's perfect. So we're happy with that, okay? Sorted?
Yeah.
Good. Right, with the fuel lines now on, we're now going to refit this carburetor. Now, I want to get you to fit this throttle, okay? Now, pay attention to how it's orientated. You've got to slip that end,
Yeah.
and you've got a little tiny bowl, wider hole that end. The wider part of the hole goes at the bottom, and as the throttle cable goes up in, it will trap it.
Right.
So, here's your carby. Let's bring the fuel hoses out of the way for now.
I moved it slightly.
Yeah, so offer it on first. Offer the carburetor onto place first. Yeah. Just slide it in very, very gently. Bring the hose pipes out of the way, your fuel hoses. That's it. Just gently. It will go. There you go. Right, that's going on. So now we want to get that little tiny cable.
This one.
Yep.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, hang on. I'm going to pull it out of its housing. It's got to go down through there. That's it. And behind that one. That's it.
Yeah.
And it's got to go onto there.
Oh, it's going to be fiddly.
Isn't that fiddly?
Yeah. It's got to go into there. Oh, it's the big one's got to be at the bottom, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I've got to move that. Oh, wait, hold on.
Okay. So what they do is what they do give you as a design is they give you a little flat-headed screwdriver.
Yeah.
Okay. So when that's up on the top, you can offer it on, get your little screwdriver, put that in there, and then you can then twist that to where you want it.
Yeah. So which way is it going to be?
It's got to be
The other way, that way.
that way
No.
there.
Is it?
I think so.
Oh yeah, because big. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So Josh is going to now have a fight with this for the next half an hour to try and get us into situation, and we'll come back once he's done it. But he's got the gist of it. He understands what he's got to do. But it's all the little bits you've got to take into account, like your fuel lines, fuel is spinning away and being pinched at the same time. So he's got to figure all that out. Let him get it figured out, and he'll be back in 2 ticks. Right, so Josh has now got the fuel leads back on. He's now going to clean up the back of the airbox. Arms length away, don't get it near me. That's it. And the other side, lovely. Oh, beautiful. That's good, lovely, right. Let's put the air gun away. What's it like working with tools then, Josh?
Yeah, it makes a change.
It makes a change, eh? Yeah. Right, now which way does that go round? Do we remember?
It's like that, isn't it?
Don't you tell me it's like that.
That's how I remember it.
Okay, so your bolt's got to go in there, and your nuts on top. So where do your nuts go? And don't say the obvious, okay? Where do your nuts go?
Here.
They go there. What about on the inside? That's a bit more interesting. Now, what did Mick put in the hole to stop dirt getting in the carburetor first? Do you remember? I bunged some some rag in the hole, didn't I?
Yeah.
Where did I bung the hole? Where did I bung the rag? Do you remember? See, now this is where you got to think.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're not sure, get your air filter. Okay. And put your air filter in place. There's that little tiny hole that we put a screwdriver down the side of, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Do you remember doing that bit?
Yeah.
So that was like that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It couldn't have been like that, could it? Because you wouldn't have got a screwdriver in.
No.
So that was like that. So we know that that goes that way.
Right. It's just the handles. I thought the handles.
Ignore the handles for now because that's not what those handles are for. So line that up. Right, now we're happy. Yeah?
Yeah.
So now what you want to do is now want to get your 8mm nut driver and your 8mm nuts. And because I put the cotton wool in the bottom of that only goes that far. So you now need to put those
in there.
onto there. This is serious great fun, people. I mean, it may be a bit drawn out for you guys watching, but this is great fun for me, actually having one of my boys come down the shed and try and learn something a bit new. This is what it's all about. How you going? Is that on? Right, now get the other one. The other one's in a magnet tray. So you can put it down perpendicular.
Is there a certain way these have to go
No,
around, or
no, it don't matter, mate, no. Yeah? Is it going down?
Yeah.
It is right. Now they've got to be done up nice and tight. Not too tight, they've got to be done up relatively tight. So Josh is going to do them up. Once he's done them up, we'll come back to you in 2 ticks. Okay, Josh now managed to get them done up. Well done, Josh, good lad. So the next thing I want to do, just to double check that you know, that little lever there, do you know what that does?
Is that the release?
That's your choke, okay? And you operate your choke by pushing that down. That will choke your engine. By lifting up, you're turning your choke off, okay? So when you're asking for choke, you're capturing fuel inside this filter. You pump this, and it's keeping fuel here.
And then does that
and
push
then
up?
that then go off into the cylinder.
Right.
Okay, by doing that, you're allowing air into it as well. Okay, so we're happy with that. Next thing to do is put the air filter on, which is that little tiny biscuit, and it'll only go on one way. Now, with a lot of the aftermarket parts, you may find that some may require a little bit of trimming or something along that line. They can be a little bit tricky. But if you look here, look what you're doing. You're trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. Look here, look. It's never going to go.
Oh, yeah.
So that's telling you straight away you got it round the wrong way. That looks a little bit more sensible.
Yeah.
So as I say, with some aftermarket parts, you may have to trim, and that seems to be a little bit, a little bit thing there, doesn't it? So what we're going to do is we're going to get our scissors, and all we're going to do is we're just going to trim off a hair's breadth off of the bottom of that filter. And we'll try again. And this time it's gone straight in. Okay, so always look at the logical. When you've got only one orientation, just double check it's going to go in. Otherwise, you're just going to try and squeeze it in and make it fit, and that's where people get held up. That's that done. Airbox is next. Now, if you remember, you had to squeeze one end in before and then unhinged it before you could take it off. So, what are you going to do first? You had to. First of all, you had to squeeze.
Yeah, squeeze.
Remove and then unbracket.
Right. So this is.
So now you're in reverse order. Exactly that. You're now in reverse order. So squeeze it onto the old bracket there. It will just clip on there. There you go. And now swing it round. All the way into it goes click. There you go. That's it. Click, click. Cool. So now we've got new fuel lines, new fuel filter, new air filter. The gaskets they supplied are actually the wrong gasket for the carby, so that's what happens. They're not done very well selling this kit so far, this lot. So we're happy with that. Next, we're going to move on to how to do the pull cord, because the pull cord looks relatively worn, and we're going to now do the pull cord. That's a whole new beast in itself. Right, so next we're going to be doing this pull cord. I've given a little bit of prep in it to know what he's got to do. So you've got your Torx, you've got your snap-on Torx bit there, Josh, yeah?
Yeah.
This bit, and your tool, that's got to go into the holes, and there should be 3 or 4 bolts there to remove. It'll go anti-clockwise. to remove those. Got him?
Yeah.
That's it. Try and keep it nice and straight, the tool, that way, because you're all over the shot. Yeah? So we've got three Torx bits to undo at the back. And once we've done that, we'll come back to you, because he's got to figure it out himself. He is learning, so it's a whole new ball game for him. There's 3 to do, Josh, I believe, on this, and then we can then remove the pull cord assembly. So we'll get them undone, and we'll be back in 2 ticks. Right, so he's now removed them bits and pieces. There's another one around the side here to do as well, which we've done, and now this pull cord assembly now will come away. Let's state of that, Josh. That's proper, isn't it? So now all the fuel tank is now all loose and what have you. What I'm going to do, whilst you're going to be doing the pull cord, I'm going to clean all this area off here. To keep it nice and clean, because it's absolutely smothered in stuff. So I've got some special stuff that I've got, which is called Gunk Off. Oh, hang on, put it down there. There you go. Gunk Off, there it is. And we're going to spray that on the engine, all over, like so. And that'll just sit there and do its business, okay? So let me get rid of this strimmer out of the way, and then we'll concentrate on the pull cord assembly itself. Right, so we've now got the pull cord assembly off, and it's been just a bit of a petrol bath clean, jet washed off, and or air compressor, looking much better. Now, Josh, these are renowned within the small engine world of being a bit of a pig if you don't get it right, okay? We're not looking to retension the spring. We're looking just to change the pull cord. So all we've got to do is pull the pull cord out, and see how I'm clasping it with my hand. Yeah. Pulling it out, clasping it. When you get to the end, you then want to jam your thumb in there, or a clamp. I might actually have some clamps, it might be a bit easier for you. And you see where that cord is going through. See if I get a twist, see where it's moving that knot in the middle? Yeah. That knot we need to remove out. Right. But if you take that knot out and cut the cord, and then release with your thumb, it's going to recoil it, and then you've got to recoil it by hand. Yeah. Okay, so there's a few bits to do in preparation. One is to get some pull cord for 2 strokes. I've got 2.8mm here. Get a little lighter. Do you smoke? No. Okay, get a lighter, and just burn the end. And a very quick action with your finger and thumb, you can then put that into a point. If you do it slowly, you're going to burn yourself, because it's nylon. Okay, so just burn it up. And then quick action, like so, just to put a fine point on it, okay? We're going to need that, and we're also going to need a pair of red-handled snips. Bruce, red-handled. So what I'm going to do also, just to be beneficial for you, I do have a clamp up above yonder. Now, I don't generally use clamps. I've been doing it quite a little while. So we can pull that all the way out, hold it into position, get a clamp that over, and look, it stays all by itself. Yeah. That's how we're going to do it for you, okay? Yeah. So next thing I want to do is, in my box of many good stuff, we've got a dental pick, okay? Yeah. Open your mouth. Good lad. All we're going to do now is we're now going to remove this little tiny knot. And just be very, very conscious of that clamp at all times. One move and it all goes wrong. Exactly that. And anyone in the small engine nation will know exactly what I'm talking about. We're going to remove that knot, get a pair of snippers, snip that off, and then retract your cord. Don't touch that. Okay. So look how much throw this person's got on there. Not a lot. The cord's actually not in bad condition. We're now going to remove this end, take that out, and measure pull cord. That can go away. We're now going to get, actually we need that back, because I want to measure roughly how much they had. So that's how much they had, and we're going to give, all generous, about another 10 inches or so, okay? Give or take. And we're now going to burn that off on top. Cut that, burn that. Now these are very tricky, Josh, as I say. So many people have lost their rags. So the next thing I want to do, because there's no telling this is actually snapped. Now what I like to do is I now will remove the clamp. Okay, now that's under tension. If I let go of that now, that's going to go for a Burton. Yeah. If you slowly release it, you'll see it wants to go that way. Right. I'm now going to try and turn it the opposite way. To give it tension. Just to see if it's snapped in the past, and if I get another turn on it. So I'm just slowly working it. Very, very gently until I get my hole back up to where it was, which is going to be, where's my hole? See how I'm clamping it at all times. I'm not ever going to release that until I know where it is. There's a hole there, which is going to be there, and we need it to line up here.
Right.
So I'm going to keep going, and in fact, it won't let me.
Right.
Okay, so that is already at full tension. So I'm going to come all the way back to where I was. It's going to be about there. Now there's a little tiny cut point just here. You see that?
Yeah.
Little tiny cut point. If in the event you let go of this and it uncoils, you can put the cord in, hook it on there, and then just
wind it back
wind it back up like a clock, yeah? Mm-hmm. But we're not going to let go of this. Daddy's got hold of it. So we're going to clamp that on there now. Like so, okay? So now I want you to thread this piece of string through that hole, and then it will come out. There'll be a hole there somewhere. It will come out around about in there. See where that little tiny slit is? I said.
Yeah. So is that where the hole is?
That's where the hole is actually in there. So it's got to go through there, and up into there. See it? Ta-da!
Yeah.
Yeah. Do that. Just mind that clamp. I hope he doesn't let the clamp go. He lets the clamp go. It's game over. He's doing it. He's doing it. He's having a go. He's in it.
It's bending.
It's what?
It's like bending.
I would have thought that having your thumbs all what stained up, you'd have been all right doing that. How you doing?
It's a little bit fiddly.
Yeah. Do you want me to remove a clamp?
No.
Okay.
No.
Shall I move the clamp? Move the clamp. You getting there?
It's just it keeps bending.
So a little trick then, if you're having problems, a little trick of a trade is to get your lighter. Do you smoke? Okay. Get your lighter and then run it down the cord. See how it's trying to curl?
Yeah.
Straighten it.
Oh yeah.
Burn it. Straighten it, and then that will then stay a bit more upright. You're welcome, Josh. Got a thank you from Joshy.
There we go.
Oh, there you go. Right, so now it's in. Right, now it's in.
Yeah.
Get your dental pick, and you now want to hook that bit of cord out. And the good thing with dental picks is you can actually jab it through the cord and manipulate it. Yeah, just drag it out. You may let a little pressure go off of the cord this end and just drag it out. Tricky, innit?
It's not very... Oh, there we go, nearly got it.
Yeah, jab it. So what I mean about jabbing it?
Yeah, I jab it and then I yank it out.
That's it, yeah.
Nearly got it. It's just the clamps in the way.
Do you want me to take the clamp off?
No.
Does that help? Let's have a little look.
There you go, it's out.
It's out, is it? Right, go on in. You've got to get it all the way out. So you manipulate the tool. Bring the tool right round. There you go. Great. Don't be frightened of it. Get hold of it.
Yeah.
There you go, right. So now pull it out a bit, not too much, because you'll pull it through all the other end, you see?
Yeah.
So this end here, you now want to tie a knot in the end of that, right at the very, very end, like so. Now, if you're at all worried that knot's not big enough, then just put another knot on it, okay?
Right.
Because that knot is going to stop it coming back out the recoil assembly. Once that knot's in place, I then get my lighter and I then burn the knot, and that shrinks it and tightens it right up. A little bit of flattening. Okay. So now we can now pull that one back through there. We can now hold this string with your hand, remove the clamp, and whilst don't let go of this cord now, it's vitally important.
Yeah.
You now want to push that little tiny knot,
Just force it in.
force it into that little tiny groove like so. Okay?
Now we can let go.
No, you can't let go yet.
No, can't let go.
We can now let it wind itself up, but it stops there. Oh, did I? No, I've got it. No, I thought I let go too far then. I give it too much. Oh, I saved it. And that's why I put too much on, is because it shouldn't then retract all the way in. We caught it just in time. So, see how it sits there?
Yeah.
We can now get our pull cord handle, thread that through because we already burnt it off, and now we just want to pull it a few times, see where it stops, keep hold of the string at all times.
Yeah.
So that's where it's going slack. So we now know that that is the area. You don't want to tie it off here because then your cord's all over the shop.
Yeah.
So we know that's tight there. So put it about 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches, and we want to tie a knot just in there. Like so. Bump, bump. Now they always say a good pull cord will always stand erect.
Yeah.
So if you put it down, boink. Okay, so that's a good pull cord. We then get our red handle pliers. Bruce lost his.
Oh, I see.
Cut that off. And there is your new pull cord fitted. How easy was that?
Not very.
Well, I'm telling you, when the spring goes twang inside here, if you remove that little tiny clip just there, if you remove that, it will go twang on you. And then, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
Pull cord's now done. Let's get the machine back on top, get the pull cord fitted, and we'll be back in 2 ticks. Okay, so as I said, with the service kit that they provided, they didn't actually supply me with a brand new plug for this, which is a shame, but there you go, it happens. So we're now going to remove the plug, Josh, which is that one up there. I recommend using a pair of long nail red handle pliers, Bruce. And what you want you to do is you want to get in there and, there's that. What's that there? What's that? What do you notice?
It's a bit loose.
The plug is loose. Now, she says it's a bit hard to start, but the plug is actually loose. You can hear it rattling around. So you want to get hold of this with a pair of long nail snips and just literally, gently prise that up and over onto one side, and then with a plug spanner, which is there, on reverse, which is that way, you now want to remove that plug to make sure it's well seated.
Is that on?
Well, you tell me. Is that on? Doesn't look like it. So let's be a bit forceful and have it on there like that, okay? And then
Which way? This way?
Yeah, it's all done doing. Yeah, see how it's undoing it anti-clockwise?
Yeah.
When you get to a certain point, you can then stop, remove the ratchet, and then just turn the socket. Okay. Now these have got a little tiny rubber bung in them, so when you get so far, you remove the socket, and the plug will come out with it. Okay. So there's your plug, and what's that there?
That's a crack.
Got a nice big long crack down the side of that. Okay, and the top of the electrode is actually bent over, so that's no good. So I've got a brand new, how about a brand new, this is a Champion one, an RCJ6Y, and coming out is a B2LM7A. So this should do the job, and all you want to do is put that plug back in, pull the HC to one side, and just slowly, now this is important, you never ever do this really when the engine is hot, because you can cross thread it. No. So what you do is you can just gently do it anti-clockwise first. Yeah. Just spin it anti-clockwise and then just gently turn it clockwise. Now, if you feel any resistance, like I've got resistance there, stop. Right. So that means you're cross-threading. If you cross-thread this, it's going to cost us more than a service. Yeah. Okay, so you want to just literally push it in. It's hard because of the HT lead, you see, it's very difficult. Push it in and then very gently find its home. And when it finds its way in, you'll know. Now, if you struggle, you can put a little tiny bit of fuel hose on the top of this, just to help it spin. So you've got a bit more control over it. Yeah. That feels like it's starting to bite. I'd say it is. So now get your socket, put that on top, Josh, like that, and then you can now turn that one. Put that on there. Now turn that. Now do that up relatively tight. You'll feel it seat. You'll feel it seat, and that's where the washer is starting to bed down on top of the pot. See how that now seated? Right. Now when it's seated, what you want to do is just literally give it a turn. All right, just so it is very well seated. You don't know air coming out of there. Yeah. So that's now on there, relatively tight. HT lead can now go back on to the machine, Hear that click?
Yeah.
That means it's on. So that's the spark plug now done. So far what have we done? We've done air filter, new fuel lines, fuel filter, pull cord, spark plug. That's it, that's service complete. Okay, so now what we're going to do, have a look at the fuel. Hope there's enough fuel in there to start this machine. I think there is. If not, we'll have to put some more fuel in. This will be 40-to-1 mix in here, which is a mixture between petrol and oil. We'll take this outside, try and fire it up. So it was a bit of a pig to start, and see how we get on. Right, okay, Josh, so we're good to go. So now we're ready to fire the machine up. You fired one up before?
Never.
So do it from the floor, is easiest. We want to turn the machine on. We want to choke the machine, which is that one, and then prime the machine 3 or 4 times. Make sure the fuel cap's up nice and tight. So now what you want to do is start the machine up, one handle here, and pull the cord up. And we'll just want to wait for the machine to fire. Quite vigorous. Okay, woo there, yeah, woo, that fired. So now, turn the choke off, pick the machine up, and give it some throttle, underneath, gently. Okay, so what happened is, with all 2-strokes, when starting 2-stroke from cold,
yeah.
you have to gently bring the revs up, okay, because it's like you getting out of bed.
Yeah.
You don't want to go for a run, do you? Sorry. Yeah. So I'll turn the machine on and give it a little bit of a pull. Might want re-choking. And gently. See what I'm doing here, look? I'm bringing it back. Now we're getting there. And that's how you do it. Okay, so FS55 Strimmer, done. What do you think of that?
That was pretty good to me.
It was pretty cool. Now, not being rude, but you can earn some serious money by learning a trade like small engine repair. That probably took us about half an hour to 45 minutes longer than what it should have done. Yeah. Because you're learning, obviously, but that's how you learn. So today we've done a FS55 Strimmer service, new air filter, new plug, new pull cord, fuel leads, fuel filter, quick test and run up, and it runs pretty well. It's a bit boggy, but then I dare say the fuel mix is probably wrong in there because it's a customer machine. The carburetor could do a bit of a tune, but it came in for a standard service. I will start the machine up a bit later on and see how it runs, and if need be, try and tune a carburetor just a touch, just to bring it up off of the low pickup. But it doesn't run too bad for what it is. Super happy, and I've now serviced the machine for that lady, or you have, Josh, and also I've done her lawnmower as well, so that can go back today, and we can get paid. Well, I can get paid. Yeah. We're going down to Tesco's now. We're going to pick up a chicken for roast dinner. It is Sunday, so chicken for roast dinner. Going down to Tesco's, going to do that, and then hopefully we can sit down and have a nice big roast dinner a bit later on. If this is your first time in watching Mixed Motors, hit the subscribe button, whack your bell, set notifications to all. That way you'll be told one, done a video, or two, I'm on my Saturday night weekly live stream, which starts at 6:30 p.m. UK time. I look forward to the next episode of Mixed Motors very, very soon. But until then, people, don't forget, much more importantly,
get down and dirty.
No, I'm real. Take it easy.